That's fishing across the nation. That's fishing around the world.
Facts of Fishing, the show, presented by Subway. Eat fresh. Shimano, technology you can feel. Yamaha, reliability starts here. Live Target Lures. And Bass Pro Shops, your adventure starts here. This week, Dave pairs up with his good buddy, Lake Erie superstar Simon Frost for a good old-fashioned fall big bass beatdown. Without further ado, here he is, the world's greatest angler. I can't say this.
Just read the script.
And fishing funny man, Dave Mercer.
Hey, it's late November and we got lucky. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. But what do you do in November? I mean, you watch football, maybe you go hunting. The problem is there's no football on today and I don't hunt. Or maybe I do. Today, I'm going hunting with these bad boys right here. Little coffee tubes with my buddy Simon the Iceman Frost. Great Lake smallmouth super smashing specialist. I've built it up. Now let's see if we can deliver.
Should be very few goby bites if you get any. Water's too cold for them now. They go into hibernation.
Oh, I missed one. You got him now.
Well, remember that goby thing? I guess I lied.
You just did give me a big seminar about, yeah, you can't catch gobies this time of year.
Because this goby didn't listen. Go to sleep.
That basically explains the entire sport of fishing. As soon as you think you know something,
Yeah.
you don't.
Possibly some fish on the bottom. Definite fish on the bottom. See how they're crawling? Those are all fish. But they're bellied to the bottom. Come on, fish. Oh, that's a good fish. I knew about that bite. That was an awesome bite. You see, it's doing that really hard fight, but she came up, so it's a little bit better.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I find the ones that stay down and dog are small, but the bigger ones, definitely smarter fish, they come right to the surface.
Look at you, you're gonna get your hands wet.
Now I'll grab the tube. Water seems to be a little bit stained today.
Oh, there's a good one.
Oh, I have to concentrate on this fish.
It's a good one too.
Okay, the net for Dave.
Sorry to interrupt you. Look at that dude
That's
right
a good
there.
one.
You know you're on Lake Erie when one guy's talking about his fish and I hook up with another one. Nice. I'll hunt these bad boys any day of the week. One thing for sure, these fish are not tanking that bait. You put that little coffee tube down there and they smell it and they have to eat it. It's unbelievable. As you've heard Simon say, every single fish that we've marked has been belly on the bottom. Let me get this fish back in the water. And when you see fish on a graph where they're belly on the bottom like that, you always want to be fishing a bait that's going to be on the bottom. You're fishing a drop shot or even a crankbait that's going to run over them. It's going to be way above them. But this time of year, you want to put something right in front of them. That little tube, just boom, 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 boom. And as you can see, they're eating. Let's get more. There you go. That looks like a good one.
That feels like a really good fish.
Well, welcome to the Facts of Fishing Show yet again. Simon the Iceman Frost is with us, whooping on my butt. That's the kind of fish that you come out to Erie for. Here, you can deal with them. I don't want to get my hands wet.
Look how pale that fish is. What's going on here is the water's a little bit stained today. The fish, they settle down to the bottom and then they lighten themselves up. Better camouflage, they can hide, ambush prey a little bit better. Now if it was nice and clear, this fish would have its traditional bands, blend into the rocks then.
You know, one thing that you've probably heard me say a ton of times is learn from the little hints that the fish give you, little tricks and stuff. And like Simon said, that pale fish tells you that the water's a little bit dirty, but it also tells you that the water's dirty all the way to the bottom. That's a tip that the fish gave you. Now pay attention to it. And what we've done is we've started using these coffee tubes. They've got that scent in them, and it's more likely to catch fish when using a scented bait in dirty water. Why? Well, just plain and simple. Normally, these fish on Great Lakes like Lake Erie, I mean, it's crystal clear. They're used to sight feeding, but the sight feeding is going to be a little restricted today, so they start relying on other senses. And one of the senses is their nose. They can smell that coffee tube and they eat it. There he is. There you go.
Feels okay. Could be a good one. Ah, little guy. Oops. Got him right in the corner of the mouth.
Dude, look. Think they're eating? Look at this. You think they're eating gobies? Look at his yap. Watch this. And look at that, look, the goby's still alive. How crazy is that? That is how aggressive these fish feed in the fall of the year. I mean, that thing just smoked this goby, which, I mean, you look at it, you compare that to that, and as you can see, that's why tubes are such a hot bait on the Great Lakes. I mean, right down to, you know, you see a goby's got a big bulbous head, and so does this tube, especially this time of year when you're using heavier weights. It's awesome. Dude, it's getting warm out.
I know.
You're gonna be too hot in your floater suit.
I brought my rain suit.
No, you can't change. Screw up the whole show. You gotta sweat.
Oh, there's another one. He's not bad. You know you're spoiled when you say a fish like that is not bad. Just a nasty November day out.
It's wicked. Nasty Lake Erie. But you know what? We care. I mean, this shows the viewers of the world that we care, you know? My buddy Simon, me, we did this for you.
There's one.
You got him?
Got him. I think there's a whole bunch of fish down there.
There's one. This is a small fry.
That last fish you caught must have spit him up.
Oh, there we go. Oh boy, look at the size of this.
I will get the net for you on that one.
That right there is a Lake Erie toad. Oh boy, I like it. Oof. As you can see, that dude right there is a toad.
Oh, there's another one.
Get him back in the water to grow. Oh, you got fish there, dude?
I sure do.
Just Toadzilla. Oh, you just made my last one look tiny. Ooh.
That's an Erie monster.
Of this fish.
That fish barely touched it. Now I'm running 10-pound super slick with a 10-pound fluoro leader, and I barely felt that pickup. If I'd have been running anything else, like straight fluorocarbon, I wouldn't have felt a bite. Awesome fish. Let's get her back, get a few more.
You know, one of the major reasons that braided line like Power Pro Super Slick gives you such an advantage out here is because there's no stretch in it. There's zero stretch in it. So everything you feel down in the bottom, you're gonna feel in your hand. There's a fish. I felt that one. Come here, dude. Oh, these fish interrupt me like that. That's not very nice. This is a triple sow cow. Come here. Bass squatch. Oh. And the reason that you feel everything is basically just because there's no stretch. There's zero stretch. So everything that's happening on the bottom is happening in your hand. And when you're in 45 feet of water, you need that sensitivity, especially when they're just touching that bait. If they're inhaling it, you're gonna get them. But when they're eating like they are today, I guarantee you, throw braided line and you're gonna catch more fish. And probably some big old pigs.
So we've all heard about social media big shots like Ashton Kutcher and Tony Hawk. Well, now Dave is trying to become one. So make sure to follow him on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Closed captioning for Facts of Fishing, the show, has been provided by Boat Smart Connect, the all-new boating app for iPhone and Android.
Oh, there's a good one. Not bad. Simon's changing his clothes. And while he's down, I'll catch a bass. That's not a giant. Oh, this one was never getting off. I'm gonna get my pliers. How come, no matter what you're fishing for, you know, a little one like this, they get hooked right. When you get the big one on, it's hardly hooked at all. But this little dude, he ate it. Whew, that water's cold.
One thing you notice is both Dave and I are using a 7/6 medium action crucial spinning rod. The reason for that is we've got an awful lot of line pickup. On a day like today, it's dead flat calm. We've got fish under the boat. We're also casting 2 specific spots. So you make a long cast, you can reel down, and on your hook set, you can pull up a lot of line and get a more positive hook set. Got him. Another real gentle pickup.
Because it's tiny.
Well, it's still fish. Just in the top of the mouth. Oh, get a little bit slippery, that one.
Whoa, wow, that thing smoked it. Come on, come back. Dusted it. That thing ate the way they're meant to. That one finally ate it, you know, the way you want them to eat it. Good, sudden, and they're sucking that tube in. But majority of these fish today, you've heard us say it over and over again, are just super, super subtle hits. And believe it or not, when you're fishing big bodies of water like this, that hit is gonna be that much more subtle, because remember, we're fishing in 40+ feet of water. So you've got a lot of distance between you and your bait. You know, you cast it out there 100 feet, you're 40 feet down, and the thing to remember is your bait is moving a lot slower. When your bait's moving really quickly in big waves, you know, bait's going one direction, and if the fish just subtly stops it, it's gonna feel like a ton of bricks. Tunk. Today, your bait's hardly moving, so that hit is gonna seem even more subtle.
Oh, what do we got there? I'm starting to think these fish don't love me since I've taken all my stuff off.
Yeah, you gotta sweat for them.
Well, I'm still sweating. They know that. Yeah, I think we've burnt this area, especially when we started dropping them back.
All right, well, let's run over to that other spot. Want to run over to that?
Yeah, I think we burnt this out.
You know, one of the keys with this type of fishing, and realistically any type of fishing, especially when it comes to smallmouth, is to stay with active fish. And a lot of times when you're catching a bunch of fish like we have been and dumping them back in the water, basically what it ends up seeming to do sometimes is turn the fish off. I mean, the fish go down there, and I've heard they exude, secrete, whatever, some scent in the water. Basically they pee in the water, and it scares the other fish. So it's good to stay on active fish. So after you catch a bunch of fish, I mean, we may come back here, but always move around. Go to different spots, get a bit of a milk run going, and you'll keep catching fish. Say hello, my little friend. I see some fish.
There's one.
A good one?
Feels okay.
Okay, I guess so.
I don't know, he's doing a bit of a wallow. That's a decent fish.
Ooh, there's a good one.
We just pulled up to a new spot, and right away, boom, double header.
As you can see, they're kind of eating here. That's the whole deal. Man, you cover a bunch of water, and sooner or later you get into a pod like this, a little wolf pack of fish, and it can be fun.
Got him.
It's a good one. Oh, there we go. Another double header. Another good. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't worry. You go about your business over there.
Let her go. Well, Dave lands his.
The yap full of tubes, Jake. You know, I really basically love it when a plan comes together. And like I said before we left the last spot, you know, you gotta move around and stay in front of hot fish. Let me let that guy go. Because basically letting them go can shut fish down. You know, those fish will turn on and off, and when you're on top of them, I mean, you're gonna slow it down a little bit, but by having a few aces up your sleeve, fishing with a dude like Simon the Iceman Frost, who's got literally a bajillion spots on Lake Erie, you just keep cycling through them, and you'll keep catching them.
Do a drop down, Dave? Oh yeah, no question, that's a fish.
Ooh. Oh, I came back again. Are you kidding me? When I miss one like that, I always pull a little bit of line out real quick because you're pulling that bait away and you want it to drop right back down where that fish was. And they'll come back like that. I love it when fish make me look like I know what I'm talking about. He's not a giant, but proved a point to you that without ripping that bait out of the area, they will come back. Or one of their buddies will eat it. Either way, it don't matter. Always, 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 when you see a fish, whether it's a fish surfacing and you're out throwing topwaters, drop your bait. If you see a fish on the graph, always, always, always crank that bait in and drop it down there. There's an incredible amount of fish that you can catch drop down fish out here. See them on the graph like that, drop down. Come back, or one of your friends come back. Baby, come back. Ooh, you made a fool of me. It came back. What'd I tell you? Always, always, always drop it down. This is not the same fish, this is smaller. See, you gotta sing to the fish. Baby, come back. Woo, you made a fool of me. This one loved the sweet, sultry sounds of me. Woo. Amazes me that I haven't been picked up by a record label. Oh, why would you splash me? The water's way too cold for splashing. There's no need for splashing.
We got some nice marks here. What's going on there? These fish, they're right on the bottom. You see some strong reds in there, some yellows, some greens. What's happening there? Those fish are sitting right on that edge. That red mark, that's a strong return. Odds are that's a big fish. Your smaller returns, they're not as thick, not as dense. So then you're looking at like weaker return. So it's probably some smaller fish, but there's definitely a couple fish sitting there on the bottom. These fish are belly to the bottom. You know, just literally crawling along. It's a good ambush spot for them with the water being a little bit stained. To keep it real simple, red is a big fish, then yellow would be like you're a little smaller, and then green would be a small fish or a school bait fish. So remember those three colors, and you're definitely going to catch bigger fish. He ate it.
Got him.
I got him.
Is it a good one?
It feels fairly decent. He's right under the boat.
Whoa.
And he is definitely one greedy fish. Tube all the way down, and a little goby. It's really important to learn your electronics, get to know them, understand what's on the screen. Without those, we would not have caught this fish. Learn your electronics, very, very important.
For the bass fishing trip of a lifetime, contact Lake Erie smallmouth smashing superstar Simon Frost at simonfrost.ca.
There we go. Oh, this could be a good one. Oh, I think this is a good one. Oh yeah, it is.
That's a good one.
That is a cow. Come here, dude. You big wallowing beast. Epitome of a dumb angler. I have a net that I just leaned on. Oh, look at that pig. You know, it truly amazes me just how good this fishery is. You know, you can come out for a few hours and throw some coffee tubes out and catch fish after fish like this. You know you're on a good fishery when you can catch a bunch of fish like this and be like, it's a decent one. Ugh. November is not just for football, it's for hunting big smallies. Don't put your boat away. Get out in the water and get you some of these. Oh. You know you've had a good day when your tube ends up looking like that at the end of the day. That dude right there has been chewed up, spit out, and whooped on.
This week's show suffered from a severe case of SFF, or as it's more commonly known, Simon Frost Factor. These two whooped him, but then again, Simon always does. Imagine how good we would have caught him if I was in the boat rather than Dave. Psst, Simon, call me. Dave and Simon fished for 4 hours and 24 minutes, making just 133 casts and catching an incredible 20 fish. And that's the score. Every single fish on today's show ate the same thing, a Strike King coffee tube. Simon and Dave both used a 7-foot 6-inch Shimano Crucial jig rod paired with a Shimano 2500 size reel. Simon chose the Stratic, while Dave used the Shimano Sustain 2500. When it came to line, they both spooled up with 10-pound test Timber Brown Power Pro Super Slick line with a fluorocarbon leader. Now you've got the facts. Well, that's it for this show. Thanks for wasting a half hour of your life watching my boss try to catch a fish.